Hello, this is the Canada Border Services. We've seized a parcel you were attempting to ship with illegal contents and there is a warrant out for your arrest. Just kidding. This is the Bush League podcast first ever best of episode. So sit back, grab a snack, and say goodbye to the next hour and a half of your life.
Yeah, but water first, right? You gotta get water or shelter. Which came first, the water or the shelter?
With water.
Okay.
Well, it depends what woods and where you are, boys. There's
What do you
probably a
mean?
big distinction.
Why does it depend on the woods?
Well, probably if you're in like the middle of Jamaica or some crazy place like that.
Jamaica. What did they ever do to you?
I feel like it's a
it's
small.
hot.
It's an island.
You don't have to walk very far to find people.
Find water. Yeah,
Yeah.
find people or water. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I
shit.
mean-
Yeah. Fresh water down there.
Yeah, it's surrounded by fresh water.
Fields of marijuana.
Gary, are you trying to insinuate something? Hell, that could be here. Isn't there grop going up there in Chatham somewhere?
Not officially. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, Jake seems to know.
What just happened?
That
So-
one's just to the
I think that
Water or
answers-
shelter? You still didn't really answer you just said it depends.
I would have to say shelter first, and then you look for water because you have to come back to some place.
I just can't get past being lost in the woods in Jamaica. It's like, that's the one you pick.
Cameron, are you dead, man?
Yeah, man. Yeah, we can't use that one.
Cameron saw Cool Runnings once, and now he thinks he could survive in the woods in Jamaica.
There's like the Amazon. There's some large places. He picks, yeah.
Coconut.
Takes Jamaica. He doesn't say the rainforest. He doesn't say the middle of Africa. Jamaica.
Large. It just cracks me up.
How about another card, Gary?
Can often get a read on a person within a matter of seconds.
Wow.
When they get mad, they can be brutal with their words.
That's true. Clifford.
Fiercely ambitious and driven to succeed.
Boys, I made a mistake. I'm a Libra. Apparently, Libra goes right up to October 23rd. And I'm October 18th.
Maybe I should double check mine.
Yeah, you should check it. I'm right on the edge.
Can confirm I am an Aries.
Okay.
I can confirm I am an
Ruler of
Aquarius.
Mars.
Ruler of Mars. What are you getting? A Libra?
Oh, Jeremy. Dislikes. Delays.
Dotted eighth delays or quarter note delays.
But Jeremy, if you're a Libra, it's his lucky numbers 4, 6, 13, 15, and 24.
Okay. So,
But you are now the ruler of Venus.
yeah, I see that now. Oh, my detriment is Mars. So I guess you're my Achilles heel.
Tyson is your
Must be
kryptonite.
why we fight so much.
See, now this does make more sense. Cooperative,
That's right.
diplomatic, gracious, fair-minded, social.
I would say those are all
Yeah, those
true.
are pretty good.
I'm going to go with Chris Jericho.
Maybe there's something to this stuff.
We've learned a lot.
Very
Sorry, I was answering the second question from 10 minutes ago.
I thought Chris Jericho was an astrological sign, which it should be.
At our place, yeah. Star Wars happens.
Do you do that?
No, I don't know.
Huh?
No, it's Christmas. It's when Christmas season hits. That's all you pretty much see.
Yeah,
that's
It's
all
based on the Hallmark movies.
Yeah, I was
from
going to
the-
say Hallmark.
It's Christmas movies
Typical
up until
Hallmark
Christmas, and then Christmas break, it seems to be like Star Wars season at our house for some reason. Like it's
Typical Hallmark movie. Guy or girl goes to a small town from big city.
no, you're wrong.
Guy
You're
meets
already
girl.
wrong. You're already wrong.
Okay, what?
It's never a guy.
Oh, it's always a girl. Oh, I apologize.
Really?
She has to be
She's from the city.
the protagonist. She's from a big city or something like that, or every once in a while they do the opposite, and she's from a small town but just had to move to a big city.
Ah, yes.
and she's the protagonist, right?
For a job opportunity.
So that's it. That is most of the time.
I've seen one Hallmark movie ever where it's focused on the guy.
Wow.
And they had 2 guys with 2 women, and they switched houses or whatever, and I just can't take Christmas in this small town anymore. And he finds another guy online, and they switch houses, and don't they meet each other's friends that happen to be girls, and they all fall. Yeah,
That's all the Hallmark
and
movies.
it's still the small town to the big city, but that one was both. The guy went from the big city to the small town, and the small town guy went from the small town to the big city.
But there's always that, they meet, they fight, they get back together, it ends happily.
Yeah, or they get yeah.
Always.
Big city girl comes to a small town. She was just driving through. The car breaks down, and then she falls in love with the town handyman and leaves her corporate life behind to move to a small town.
Man, it sounds great. I'd love to watch these.
And 50% of the guys are single dads.
Oh yeah, at least.
All these, yeah. I don't know why I'm pointing at you all animated. No one can see that, but it's,
He's very passionate about that point.
Tyson,
they're all the same.
Tyson's like a Hallmark connoisseur.
They just changed the setting, and some of them I've noticed, because my wife loves these, but we watched one the other night, and I sat there and watched it with her, and I said, this whole storyline, it didn't even need to be Christmas. It wasn't Christmas. They just made Christmas the setting for this thing. Like nothing even... It had nothing to do with Christmas. They just put holly in the background and call it a Christmas
They just do
movie.
it so they can have snow in the background.
With like the worst looking fake snow anyone has ever seen in their life. Like you do not need HD to tell that that's fake snow. Or I watched one the other night where and like someone had sprayed all the windows to look like there was snow on the windows, but you could see the spray marks where someone, when you spray paint, that if you start on the object first, you get that one ball of spray paint, and then it's like, oh no, now it's not even. But someone had done that with the fake snow, like
Perfect
all over the windows. Yeah, all perfect circle, and that's where it started. And they left it there. How low budget is that you didn't have paper towel to wipe that off and try again? Like, my God.
These are the thoughts he's had. Watching hours and hours of
There's no way it's just me. Like, no one thought, we should fix that before we fire the cameras back up. No, just leave it. Nobody will notice.
It's like the A-team.
Oh, my land.
Are you a hockey fan, interested in collecting hockey memorabilia, or know someone who is? 506 Breaks is the Facebook group for you. Often imitated, never duplicated, 506 Breaks is your place to get and win signed hockey jerseys, pucks, and picks. Home of the $5 headliner, dynamic duos, and the insanely fun Sunday Fun Day. 506 Breaks will fulfill all your hockey collecting needs. And you meet other collectors while doing it. So stop by and give Stu a hello from us. Check out 506 Breaks.
Cameron's walking around the resort. One of the workers like, sir, you can take your shirt off.
That kind of actually did happen a little bit.
What are you talking about?
In Mexico, when I went on a trip with my family.
Oh my God. It's 30 degrees, sir. You can take that sweater off. It's okay.
So my wife and I went off resort, and we were doing like an underground, like a cenote. We were doing like...
I don't know what that sounds like a car.
It's an underground river.
Oh.
So...
Driving the Renault Cenote.
So you could you zip lined through the jungle, and then you rappelled into an underground river. You swam around in it, and then you would come out, and then you would go to another one. So this next one we were going to, you could walk into. And just before I went down, our tour guide called me Canadian Sweater. He actually called me Canadian Sweater.
Oh my
So
Canadian Sweater was your name. Like that's
he called me Canadian Sweater. So I went to get in the water, and I go,
oh man.
he goes, it's cold. I said, well, it can't be that cold. He goes, well, no, you're wearing a sweater. And then he started calling me Canadian Sweater. So I'm about to rappel into this underground cenote, and he says to the other guy on the other side who's hooking me up, Canadian Sweater. And the guy kind of looked at him because he must not have understood English very well. And then he explained Canadian Sweater, and he looked at me and goes, sweater. And then he laughed, hooked me up, and then just started rappelling me down this cave. So Our tour guide actually called me Canadian sweater.
Wow. And he probably to this day tells people about this guy that came through called the Canadian sweater.
Probably.
The legend.
The myth.
Although you probably want to, you can sort of take that two ways. The sweater, like we were talking about sweating earlier, like the Canadian sweater. Like
No.
I think it's pretty clear when we're talking about
when
Cameron.
we're talking about Cameron, it's clear.
Thanks.
It's clear. Yeah.
Cameron doesn't sweat. He's a walking roll of bounty.
Oh, darn.
There's
It's
an
a
absorption.
moisture wicking body.
There's an absorption factor. Oh, jeez.
What are you talking about? Get a haircut, you
So
hippie.
mean. Well, that's fair. It's totally fair.
They're
It's a
watching them
completely fair
practical
game.
joke. So you might have even emptied space for it.
I did.
Yeah.
But I also have now. I do have a wheel now, though. I have a Thrustmaster Ferrari.
Thrustmaster.
Thrustmaster.
I have
What
a
do we-
Thrustmaster
Oh
too.
my god.
What are we talking about?
Oh. We're rated clean too, so we can't say that.
Thrustmaster.
I picked up a Thrustmaster too, but I think mine's probably a lot cheaper than yours. I got it. Mine's second hand too.
Gary's has been used. I'm dying here.
Mine's the Ferrari Italia one.
Mine's a Ferrari something. It's black and red.
Mine's
I've only used it once or twice.
yeah. Does it have the?
Still don't know what we're talking about.
Does it have the metal pedals?
Got the metal paddles
Yeah,
and the
that's what I
pedals.
have. The 458. The
This
Ferrari.
is
two
where
pedals.
we need that segment called Out of Context.
Yeah.
It's the Ferrari 458.
I got the pedals, but I can't figure out how to set it up because on a hardwood floor, I hit the pedal and my foot just goes whoop, slides across the room.
So mine does.
Can you
that.
put two of them together and thrust at the same time?
I don't. Yeah, obviously.
put the pedal right into the
You
floorboard?
want as much thrust as you can get.
Double the thrust.
This took a turn.
Bigger, better.
Oh boy. I still don't know
So
what
yeah,
we're
I,
talking
have
about.
this, I don't have any room for it, but I have this huge idea to get some PVC pipe and make myself a little car frame with
Yeah.
a cheap seat hooked into it.
Are you
so I can
serious?
actually
Yeah.
secure the pedals because right now I can't play it. I hit the pedal and my foot just slides across the
It
floor.
has
cow.
it has four little rubber like dots in the bottom so it won't slide, and it's just the brake and the gas, right? But I had an ottoman sitting at home, so I pushed the ottoman, and I
you at
have
least got something to push it against.
and then I actually have an old
I tried that, but I'm a little too aggressive. I want that thrust.
no.
I need to feel the thrust.
Clifford driving a rally car.
You'll remember my name.
That's why, and when I build this thing, the PVC pipe's going to be like heavy duty, like super secure. I'm going to have to bring Jeremy over to this sturdy looking desk that he's built.
I got a square now. I can make it square.
Laser level.
No, for you, that's not where my mind went at all.
What do you mean?
Well, I guess what I came to my mind wasn't really a household disaster as much as, didn't you go stick your head in the doghouse and get a surprise?
That's not technically a disaster.
I think it's pretty disastrous.
All right. So, thanks, Tyson. Of course. So this is what happened. So again, we were at my in-laws, and we were looking after my aunt's dog. He was about 130-pound Alaskan Husky, and he had this dog house my dad built. Now, my dad is kind of known to go a little overkill. So he built this doghouse that was big enough for two people to get in and sit up in it.
Of course.
Yeah, of course. Overkill.
Why not?
So anyway, we had the dog out, and we normally let him kind of like roam around to the garage because it was kind of warm. It was summer, and then we kind of hook him over to let him go over toward his doghouse. Well, the dog did not want to go to the doghouse. I was like, well, that's weird. So my wife says, well, you might as well go get his food. We'll just leave him in the garage because he wanted to be there. And they couldn't figure out why he wouldn't go anywhere near it. So me, being me, said, oh, I'll just go grab the ball. So anyway, I walk over, and the hole in the front of this doghouse was probably like 3 by 3. It was huge.
Like a garage.
It was almost like a
dog
mini
garage.
You should have seen it. It was massive. So anyway, I said, all right. So I reached in to get the dog food because we put the dog dish inside so it wouldn't get any rain on it. And then I heard something, and when I looked up, all of a sudden something hit me in the face, and I heard this weird hissing sound. I was like, what is that? I was like, what? All of a sudden, I'm like, why is there liquid on my face? I'm like, why is this liquid burning? Well, just happened
liquid on my face?
just happened to be there was a skunk in the doghouse.
Podcast title.
There was a skunk in the doghouse, and it sprayed me right in my face, about a foot from my face.
Point blank range.
Point blank.
man.
So I'm like, that burns. Oh, that smells. Oh, that burns. So anyway, I start coughing and like, meanwhile, I turn to look at my wife and the dog, and they're both sitting over by the grass.
And she's debating leaving you.
Well, definitely was. So I'm sitting there, and I'm like, it's burning. Like it's not nice. So anyway, I'm like, get me some water. So I started running the hose, trying to wash my face off and trying to wash my mouth out, like, because it went right, like, it was everywhere. It was terrible.
Oh my gosh.
So
I
anyway,
can't imagine.
I'm sitting there, and well, my father-in-law comes out, and he goes, "What was that?" And my wife goes, "It was the most horrible sound I ever heard. It's like a hissing sound." He goes, and of course, he's trying to be helpful, but like anybody else would be like, "A, you just got sprayed in the face by a skunk. That is the funniest thing I have ever heard." So anyway, he's kind of looking. He goes, "I'll go get some tomato paste or tomato whatever. There's tomato soup or whatever you're supposed to get."
And you're thinking, what? It's all you can think about is having a snack?
Well, no, I'm thinking I just need to get the smell out of my head. So anyway, I dump this. I take the whole thing and dump it onto my head, and I start washing myself with it.
Oh, wow.
Oh, why can't there be a video of that?
We see that
And
happening.
I'm like, and I'm still coughing and
Look like a scene from Carrie.
that's what it looked like. So then
Was your shirt off by any chance?
I threw it off after that.
I was wondering if the skunk mistook you for a bear or something.
Skunk's like, oh, it's the Canadian sweater.
Canadian sweater.
So my wife goes and gets to her father. She goes, "Well, what are we going to do next?" He goes, "Well, he's going to have to get in the shower." She goes, "Well, I don't want the house to smell." And he's like, "Well, what do you propose he does?" So anyway,
Don't let him in the house.
Cold
to take a
hose.
shower.
she wasn't gonna let me in the house. So anyway, I was wearing I was like, well, I'll go to the shower. So I run down to the shower and I get in and I start trying to wash this off, and it's like it's still burning. And what I didn't realize was until later is that it's very highly toxic. And it like gave me a chemical burn above my eye and below, like on my cheek. The only reason I didn't get it in my eyes is because I wear glasses. And they figured that's the only thing that really saved my eyesight, because they said if it had gotten in my eyes, it would have been 3 times worse.
Oh, really? Like it would have burned your eyes?
It's like kind of like an acidity. Like it burned me. Like it looked like I had a sunburn above my eye and below my eye, like where my glasses were. So anyway, I'm sitting in the shower and I'm like, all right, I don't know if soap is going to handle this. So all of a sudden, I feel something like ridiculously cold being poured over the top of my head. I'm like, what is that? What I didn't realize was
He's back.
The skunk is now dumping a pail of water on your head.
I did not realize because my in-laws had a stand-up shower in the basement.
Pepe Le Pew loves you.
And the top of it was open. My wife had went and got a jug of vinegar.
What?
Vinegar?
Didn't really warn me. Just dumped it over the top of my
Did you have goggles
head.
on? Or anything?
No. And here's the worst part. For any guys
The
out
worst
there,
part hasn't happened yet.
for any guys out there, vinegar burns when it hits certain areas. So here I am going, what is that? Why am I getting hit with vinegar? And that's like, oh, now it's burning in a different place.
Oh my
So
gosh.
I still have the shower on full.
I did not know this.
Yes.
Not helping.
I have the shower on full, and all of a sudden my wife shoves in a bottle of liquid dish soap. So I'm like, okay, so I'm
You're like, what game show am I on?
So I'm pouring this on me, right? So I'm trying to get more of it out. All of a sudden, the curtain swings open and a powder hits me in the side of the head. I'm like, what is going on?
Like they're just throwing stuff at you.
Throwing everything in the cupboard.
She had baking soda.
Antiquing them.
Antiquing them.
She had gotten baking soda, opened it up. Now think, I had just put on liquid dish soap. and she throws this baking soda in on top of me. I said it was like one of those old movies you see, like those old jail movies where they're like delousing somebody. They just keep opening the curtain and throwing stuff in.
Oh my gosh.
So, yeah.
Oh,
All right. Well, we're changing his name in the group chat to Salt and Vinegar.
Yeah. Well, all I know is,
Oh, man.
So then I was like, all right, the smell has to eventually go away. So I kept telling my mother-in-law, I was like, listen, like, I can still smell it. She goes, well, you would have probably sucked a lot of it into your nose.
Into your head.
I was like, okay, so what do I do? She goes, well, have you ever used a neti pot? I'm like, I've never used a neti pot.
Well, you know what? I've had dish soap. I've had vinegar.
Yeah,
I've had
let's
Arm
just-
and Hammer. Why not dump that on me too?
Well, no, what a neti pot does is it's supposed to clean out your sinuses. So it looks like a little teapot. So you stick it in one nostril, you turn your head sideways,
And that's how the basement flooded.
That's a bad evening.
So anyway, I poured it out because she said, well, this will clean your sinuses, anything that's in there. Well, it smelled like the skunk had totally sprayed again when it all came out. So anyway, now the bathroom smells, and I'm like, and my glasses, because they're plastic, it absorbed the smell. So when I put my glasses on, the smell was terrible. So I had to put my glasses in a glass bowl with baking soda, vinegar, trying to get the smell to get pulled out of my glasses. But I couldn't go to work. So here I am saying, how in the world am I going to tell my boss, can't come to work, I kind of smell. So then I
didn't understand. I poured palm olive all over myself.
all over.
Still don't smell great.
No, it may get oil out, but it doesn't get the smell of skunk. So anyway, the next day I sat outside for 5 hours, just standing outside with no glasses on, can't see, sitting in a chair with a dog sitting beside me. He wouldn't even sit close to me, trying to get the smell.
Buck naked, face in the wind.
Dumping dish soap in one hand and vinegar in the other.
So I stayed home the first day. So then the second day, I'm like, well, I do have to go back to work, but because again, my glasses were so bad, I was like, I'm gonna have to go in
And get new glasses.
and find out what I need to do. Well, in your nose piece for your glasses, there's these little rubber pieces. Well, that's the part that had absorbed all the smell. So I walked into the eye doctor. I was like, yeah, hi, I kind of had a little bit of an issue last night. And you could see her kind of going, looking around like, I can smell skunk.
That smells weird.
And I'm kind of looking at her going, I'm like, all right, listen, I got sprayed in the face last night. It was me. So anyway, she goes, well, what do you need? I was like, I need the rubber things removed. And she goes, okay. So her and another lady went into the back room. Apparently they both had like gloves on and like they pulled the nose pieces off and they said that's where the smell was. Yeah. So anyway, I come back out. I'm like, how much do I owe you? The girl just looked at me. She goes, I feel so sorry for you. You just need to go. Yeah. So yeah, I guess that would be considered a disaster. Thanks, Tyson.
Wow.
You have to go back and start this thing all off with a theme song, The Adventures of Canadian Sweater.
Man, I'm listening.
Can you boys hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yep.
Man, I wish I had camera.
Why don't you?
Cheapo.
I'm on a desktop.
Oh, yeah. So
Wait a minute. Hold. Let's rewind here hold it. Now, like the big audio guy who has everything known to man doesn't have a camera.
No. I'm not a video guy. That's Tyson.
Now, what he does in the privacy of his own bedroom.
Your microphone is so loud.
it is.
Sounds like it should be in a fighter jet.
What can we do about that, though? Can you move it a little further from his face or something? Like, what do we do?
Well, I'm trying to figure out.
How's that?
That's better. Try yelling.
What? Oh, shoot.
Somebody tell me when to hit record.
Oh, I wish you had hit it about.
Wow. That's
Boys,
just-
I'm still processing these watermelon thieves.
Did you find a picture of them?
No, but we're in the middle of a pandemic. Masks are everywhere.
These
They're
guys aren't looking on.
everywhere.
These guys aren't looking on Pinterest.
You could have had your hood up and a face mask on, and no one would have thought anything of it. Like, oh, these guys are just worried about COVID-19. No, let's gut a watermelon in the parking lot. Put it on my head.
You've not put it. It's pretty last minute, eh? Like
Well, you had to take time. That's what I mean. It's not like you just walk in and throw it on your head. It was like, all right, now we got to carve it out, cup the eyes out, make sure it's dry so it doesn't slip off my head. Like,
Make sure the eye holes actually line up. That would be the whole ordeal. And it's
the
also
perfect
the only
plan.
time. It's the only time in maybe human history where 9 out of 10 people at the grocery store have masks on and no one thinks anything of it. But you had to go stand out and gut a watermelon. Like, oh no, we got to be noticed.
oh no, these are N95 watermelons.
Filled with hydrochloroquine.
Because Trump said.
Man, oh man. He's struggling with English, but he's already a great mechanic.
Oh yeah.
Well, all he'll ever have to read, understand, and comprehend are probably manuals.
Correct.
Right.
So
Why
let
do I
him
need
read
you-
manuals and prove that he can digest, comprehend the information, and regurgitate it back to her and show understanding. And then in the meantime, he could be working on his car in the shop, writing about it and getting his...
Why do I need to know Chaucer and the Canterbury Tale, which makes no sense?
And if you
What are you
want...
talking about? What is that?
What?
That like Peter
Canterbury
Rabbit or
Tale?
something?
Didn't you do Midnight Summer's Dream in the water bush or whatever there? Midnight Dream by the river, by the road or whatever?
No, but Chaucer.
Shakespeare's then the
No.
Bible. It's a
In
book
the
in the
Bush
Bible.
League.
It sounds the same.
One of the songs. isn't it?
I think it is. Toward the back.
Didn't Shakespeare write those?
No, that was David. David wrote Twelfth Night, didn't he?
King James and Shakespeare were buds because they're just about the same amount of
Yeah.
comp.
Hamlet was King David's first cousin.
Twice
Hamlet.
removed.
There we go. I was trying to think of the main guy, Hamlet. Anyway,
Jay, I have to apologize, but my mic stand keeps getting lower and lower.
I was like,
I'm just going to adjust that now.
I thought you were like, you go ahead.
What is he doing?
I was like, man, Gary's having an awful time over there. He's slouched down.
I was gonna say,
Practically
And that-
laying on the floor here on this couch.
That is why we should film these.
That's so true. Watch this progression of Gary like slowly.
can't believe you don't know Chaucer. What's wrong with you?
Chopsticks. What?
I could probably quote some of that poem from the Canterbury Tales.
Well, how are you saying you're a bad student if you can quote poems and you know who Chomsky
But see,
is?
that's my point. In the new way, you would have been allowed to just pursue the things you liked to show that you could hit the
Yeah,
outcomes
poetry,
instead of...
which you obviously love.
I don't actually. I don't know why I learned it. I can't remember, but I do know part of it.
I know in Flanders Fields, but that's
Well, that's
important.
That is important, actually.
Well, that's right.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it right now
'Cause you
it's
don't.
not Remembrance Day.
Exactly. We'll save that for that
All right.
podcast then.
Yep. We'll have a poetry battle, me and Cameron.
Poetry.
Oh, gosh. That has
Dead
to
Poet
happen.
Society?
Lasts about 20 seconds, and then Jeremy just starts quoting song lyrics. It's really unfair if you think about it.
In the Garden of Eden, honey.
Was that Inagata Davida that you were just... But you said Garden of Eden. In the Garden of Eden.
Told you I'm not good at music either.
Instead of Copacabana, it's at the cop of the cabin.
Tiny Dancers,
There's a
Tony
cop in a
Danza.
cabin.
Misheard song lyrics by Cameron Hare.
Oh, I can do that.
Wants to rock and roll all night and part of every day. There's a bathroom on the right.
Surviving?
The very
Very best, eh?
That was a
Giving
going, eh?
Just giving her.
Nothing like a little slang in the morning.
Why is it in the morning? Why does it have to be in the morning?
Because we always do podcasts in the morning.
That's true.
Cameron's our little ray of sunshine.
Yeah.
Should make that into a t-shirt.
Why? Just coincidentally.
Oh my gosh.
It really looks like a Cora's breakfast t-shirt. It's the
That's
yellow.
what I thought it was. He is wearing a bright yellow t-shirt with sun on it.
What's it say? What's it say?
Big freaking ray of sunshine.
Oh my gosh.
You know, because I'm so pleasant in the morning, which we all have established I am not.
So,
Cameron,
Tyson
the new
Dukes, if you're hearing
spokesperson.
this, new Hammerlock tea. Cameron's face on the sun.
I'm a big freaking ray of sunshine.
The logo can be Cameron and like some wrestling hold on the old lady from Cora's.
Like the silhouette. You do the old silhouette one.
Just a big freaking ray of sunshine.
Chorus could sell thousands of these shirts.
This is for putting way too many pineapples on your breakfast.
Pineapple has no
Do you
place
know
at
what that
breakfast.
does to my blood sugar?
Pass the cream.
Everything I order has pineapple and mangoes and
It's English cream. I don't know where that came from.
Where's the beef?
Where's the beef? What do you have for breakfast?
Oh, man. Oh, I'm with Cameron on this one. Steak and eggs, man.
Steak and eggs.
Steak and eggs all the way.
Steak and eggs, bacon eggs.
My face hurts.
You never had a steak in the morning for breakfast? What's wrong with you? Seriously, you never had
Yeah.
bacon and egg? You never had like steak and eggs in the
Oh
morning?
yeah, man. Every morning before school, I get up and barbecue a steak.
Start marinating it the night before.
2,900 push-ups?
Oh, I got coffee in my nose.
That'll wake
don't
you
get it
up.
on the microphone, Gary.
That will wake you up.
If they could make a steak that you could do
my.
like a Pop-Tart, put it in the microwave for 3 seconds and full, medium rare steak, I'd be all over that. I got time for that.
The chastising is what I like. You some kind of idiot? You've never had a steak for breakfast? Moron.
Are you so kind of idiot? I'm gonna go to your house, man.
I'm with Cameron.
breakfast.
I'm with Cameron on this one. Steak and eggs is a fantastic breakfast.
I would love it. I just don't
have time.
Have the gumption to make that every
I'm
morning.
not making it. I'm buying it.
No, I'm not making it either.
Apparently at Cameron's, steak, caviar, escargot, fine wines. There's a whole spread.
Massive wine.
It's got a
A man named
salmon pond.
Jeeves standing in the corner.
It's got a salmon pond out in the backyard. Get it nice and fresh. Fresh from the pond.
Okay, he's got that one.
Or pitch a bunch of garlic at him.
To be fair, Dracula,
Eat a bunch of garlic.
while he's
Dracula
freaky,
has some really unfortunate downfalls.
he does. So like the stake through the heart, right?
Garlic,
Garlic,
sunlight,
sunlight, and
holy water,
and holy water and a cross.
and a cross.
It's like you're like Gary just joked, but like open the curtains.
Done.
You're Invisible Man. That should be pretty easy to do.
Take
Like
him
a-
out for Italian food,
Like I don't.
and he's dead. Trick him.
Kill him with a breadstick.
Frank's hot sauce on it.
Like yeah, I feel like while he's, as long as he can avoid those things we mentioned, he's actually immortal.
Yeah.
But those
Yeah.
The only way to kill the wolf man
because
is,
garlic doesn't kill him. Garlic repulses him, right?
Yes.
Like they can't
and
stand it.
Cross doesn't kill him. It
repulses
It
him.
repulses him.
But sunlight can kill him.
And holy water, same thing. It
So I
repulses.
think the Invisible Man's the only one who's going to kill Dracula.
But he could kill Dracula.
Yeah. But
But I can't see the Invisible Man
taking out Frankenstein.
taking out Frankenstein. Yeah, I can't see it.
Let's
He
take
just waits them out.
it's Gary's all about the weight. Line
Waits
weight.
for
Invisible
millennia.
Man's very
If-
smart, strategic.
If it's a
and-
brawl,
Frankenstein. It's a brawl, it's Frankenstein.
but I feel like Dracula could outsmart
Dracula.
Frankenstein.
Brawl.
I feel like if it's a brawl,
I think Dracula wins.
outsmarts a lot of them, wins, and the Invisible Man comes in behind and takes out Dracula.
Dracula goes home to rest at the end, and the Invisible Man.
There you go, Nathan. Invisible Man. There you go.
There you go.
They need to do that on that. What's that show where they?
You see, that's the funny thing. I never, and you're gonna make fun of me, obviously, but I've never put gravy ever on any of my food. I don't eat gravy. And
Get out of here.
Everybody always goes, "Oh, here, have some gravy." I'm like, "No, thanks. I don't eat it." And they just look at me like I have a severed head.
Get out.
You like I don't even know what to say.
Like, so how come though? Why?
Like, no gravy.
I just never did. So I just never bothered.
You're an idiot.
Oh man!
If you've never eaten it
Never
before,
bothered with gra- Oh, why bother?
Well, I've had a turkey pie.
okay. I was going to say, if you never had it before, then I could see that because it is kind of an odd thing to decide to start eating one day.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
it's not like my boss who actually drank. Like, you know, you get those small, like you go to a takeout or something, they give you one of those small little containers. I actually walked in and caught him drinking out of that. I was like,
hasn't?
"Are you drinking gravy?" He goes, "What? Yeah. Everybody has a good cup of gravy now." I'm like,
Don't judge me.
yeah, that was kind of don't judge me moment.
Just paste that right on the arteries. Paste that.
It's like the dipping sauce at Swiss Chalet.
Yeah, but like, do you know that it's a little weird to just say like you don't bother with gravy?
Yeah, I know.
Okay, I was just wondering.
This has been brought up many, many times.
I understood him until he said that he had it in the pie.
Yeah,
And it's like, well, you eat it, so why
You
not
eat
just
it.
have it?
That's right.
I can't even understand.
I feel
Well, it's like, wait, it's kind of like people who like ketchup and don't say they don't like tomatoes. There are people that do that.
What?
Yeah, I know people that.
That's not at all the same.
I feel like it's kind of different.
It's like gravy and gravy versus...
That's like
You know, it's like
Some
gravy
liquid
versus gravy and
condiment.
ketchup versus tomatoes.
if gravy came in a fibrous thing you could grab that you could pull off of a tree and eat it like that, I'd understand that difference. But I feel like gravy is only in one state. You know?
Yeah.
Going back to last episode, I think we should reach out to Ashley and find out if gravy is a condiment because I would like to go back in time and change my answer.
Yeah, actually. Ashley, will you message us, please?
Gravy would be that condiment I can't live without.
And France guy, what do you guys eat over there?
Like it's like a white jersey with a Red Wings logo. It's like, okay.
Yeah, there's a few of them like that.
Yeah.
Ooh, they really messed up the Jets one though.
Yeah, that was a big miss. What is with that gray? Like, what's going on there?
Now you see, I was around for when San Jose became an.
I like it. Let's keep that going while we comment on jerseys.
Keep going, Cameron.
Keep going.
So what were you saying about the Jets, Cam?
No, the San Jose Sharks. When I was growing up, they were an expansion team. Gary.
It's the brass bonanza.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, let's throw everything that's horrible and miserable just in 1 year.
Yeah, New Year's 2020 definitely feels like the end of the movie where you're driving away, you look in the rearview mirror, and it's just explosions and chaos, everything behind you.
I was just looking up of all the years, like in memoriam, year 2020, so all the celebrity deaths of 2020. So Alex Trebek, Carol Arthur, Nikki McKibben from American. I didn't even know. I remember watching her on there. Sean Connery. What?
What was that?
In memoriam, we're grieving the lost. So, on that note, Eddie Van Halen. So Jay, what you doing?
Far too quiet to be doing anything good.
Well, that's it. I don't like what's.
He doesn't even realize this what's going on.
Did you like
He's
that
like,
voice?
It's New Year? Like what? It was just silence.
I just did my Eddie Van Halen tribute.
I wondered what you were doing. Now, can you do a Regis Philbin tribute?
A Regis Philbin solo?
Yeah.
Oh, one of those classic ripping Regis Philbin solos.
It's a little Frankie Sinatra.
Wow.
What is...
I don't know what we were talking about.
Train's off the rails, boys.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in.
All right, everybody have a Merry Christmas.
Drink lots of eggnog.
Cameron has shares in eggnog.
Eggnog, the devil's nectar. I think that's also a Doug Travers
I was
quote.
going to say, I think that's a question.
Copyright Doug Travers
it's
2020.
delicious nectar. Or the devil's work.
I hate eggnog.
It should be buried and never found again.
Agree.
I've never drank it.
Oh my gosh, man. Just try stuff.
Oh, good one. Talking sitting over there.
Yes, I have. Like,
Fussiest eater in the world I've ever met.
because I've tried stuff.
And you hate all of it.
No, man. No, I don't hate all of it.
You don't eat veggies, right?
I ate 13 McDoubles, sir.
Lots of nutrition in there.
Protein.
Protein and carbs.
But I will try stuff. I just know,
What I don't like.
yes,
Yeah.
because I can't.
Adam West, baby. Adam
Says
West.
Hi, Cameron.
Wow.
Adam
Hi,
West.
Cameron.
Batman. Signed.
I actually have the pictures of me getting it autographed too. From like
That-
1984.
That is one
Huh.
that I'm jealous of.
That's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
Well,
That's pretty stinking cool.
It was in with all my school stuff. Mom gave it to me and she's like, oh, here's all your school stuff. I'm like, why are you giving me all of these things? The first letter I pull out, we regret to inform you, your son has not passed to this grade.
Put that right on the fridge, Mom. Thanks.
The first thing I pulled out, I'm looking at him like, why did you keep this?
That's so nice. Put that on the fridge.
She's like, I kept everything. I'm like, I can see that.
Oh, man.
Thanks for keeping a detailed record of my failures.
It's like, wow. So like I have a book and my sister had a book and they, like I'm the youngest child, right? So anyway, Mom's going through like showing me, oh yeah, I got your book, blah blah. Oh, here's your sister's. I'm like going through. I'm like all the way to grade 12. I said that's pretty cool. I get to grade 9 in mine and it stopped. I'm like looking at her, go really? She's like,
That's fantastic. That's fantastic.
Oh,
Thanks, Mom.
that would make a great teaser video.
School. What was
Oh,
that?
my.
Cam? You have this whole thing here. You're just going to go through this on the podcast.
Wow.
no, but I actually have it. It's a book and it's called School Treasures. That's not a treasure.
I would love to see 1984 Cameron.
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
Me too.
Just a minute.
Off he goes.
The good old days, back when he was only 20.
22.
5 years old and a mustache like Tom Selleck.
Oh, my.
Here it is, boys. 84, 85, baby. That's right.
Look
guy.
at that.
Look at this little
Oh,
guy.
my. If I can get a copy of that for the Facebook page, that'd be great.
Look at the shirt. Look at the shirt.
He's a beauty.
A bit of fool.
Wow. It's frozen on him now, too. We can just stare at him.
Yeah. A face only a mother could love, for sure.
So
Was that a Mr. T shirt? Or was
Yep.
it A-Team? I couldn't see.
No, Mr. T.
And look, here it is, grade 9, nothing.
It just ends.
I like how you have all this just like you can just grab it at a moment's notice in the man cave there.
What did Cameron look like in 1984? Oh, just a sec. 20 seconds later, there you go.
He's got it all right here.
I am the ruler of Uranus.
Oh my gosh.
So Cameron, did you have anything else there? Were you done or
Any other area? No other airing of the grievances or anything that you need to get off your chest?
No, I'm pretty good.
What about you, Gary?
I'm thinking DIY themed.
Oh,
Okay,
great.
come on, Jeremy. You didn't see that one coming.
No,
I
Gary's
definitely
got
didn't.
a Ty Pennington themed hotel here.
just like
Yeah, you show up, you got to build your own room.
Make your own meals.
Oh, we could go, and be a family thing. You could have like Minecraft theme ones where you got to build your Minecraft style room,
there you go.
Oh, well, there.
Tetris style.
Make a giant
Or straight
oversized
HD
tea
TV.
for flooding your backyard rink.
Yeah.
Don't leave
Wow.
it running overnight. You might flood the.
That's amazing. Gary's hotel. You build your room.
You just show up, all the tools are laying there. Well, so what's this? Start building.
Yeah, startup cost.
The weather's
Startup
a little
cost.
dicey.
Startup cost of my hotel is next to nothing. I'm just going to buy some sheets of plywood and some screws.
Buy some land. No building. Just
Yeah.
like, all right, guys.
Just a concrete slab. You stay for a few days, you build it up, I tear it down, the next group comes. Sounds like a perfect business model.
If you
Wow.
if you don't check out on time, Gary just starts disassembling the entire room around you.
Yeah. Wow.
Home Depot would love that place. Welcome to the Home Depot
Well.
Hotel.
So then today, full month later, I come home. Mikhail checks the mail every day, does it again today. He kind of turned around and looked at me with this grimaced look. And I said, no, buddy, no. like without me even being, and Mikhail has to bend it further just to get it out. Like he can't get it out of the mailbox because it's crammed in there like in a perfect L shape. And I'm still thinking like, what is this unmarked envelope? And I open it. Trish Stratus sent me a new one. They never emailed me back. They never called me. They sent me a brand new 8x10 to Tyson. Trish Stratus bent right down the middle. He did it again. He did it again.
Oh my
So he
Lord.
did it. So he did it to the first one. He did it to the second one. He delivered a box and put it under the rain gutter. Buddy, I don't quite know what you did to your postal worker, but dude's got a massive problem with you.
But I've met him a few times and he's been great, but like the 8x10 thing, he wouldn't know that he wrecked the first one. But I got to tell you, again, this was packed with 2 pieces of Bristol board, one on either side.
It would take a lot of force to bend it.
Well, it's thick Bristol. It's almost like, and you know how like some Bristol board's flexible? Like this is like cardstock. Like it's a thin piece of cardboard in with it times 2. And the picture is also on cardstock. So it you know what I mean? There's not paper in this. This doesn't feel like something that should be
How
bent.
far does this guy take this thing? Like, oh, that's weird. It won't fit in there. Maybe if I just drive over it a few times and flatten it out. It'll fit
Well,
in there.
now I'm 2, and I meant to go do it tonight, but time got away from me, and we're recording this. That I'm going to drive down to the mailbox. I've got masking tape here, and I'm taping a sign inside the shelf of my mailbox that says, "Please, please, please, stop bending my mail." And then in the meantime, I messaged Canada Post again and said, like all I said was he did it again. Like he's wrecking my stuff.
And
I'll see what they say. Like
I'm gonna tell you, when he sees that, he's really gonna take it up a notch.
Oh, we'll see. Not everyone's like you, Cameron. He's not going to get vengeful. He might think, "Oh man, what did I ruin? I feel bad." He might.
I would listen. If you wrecked one thing, sure, but when you wrecked two things and put a box under it, it's like putting fragile on any box.
There's going to be origami swans surrounding the whole mailbox.
The first envelope that he bent didn't say "do not bend on it" or anything, regardless of how stiff it was.
Right.
And then the second one still didn't say "do not bend" or anything on it. So if he doesn't know that he ruined the first one, he's not going to know that he's about to ruin the second one. No one's ever told him.
It kind of is a little frustrating that they don't put fragile on it. Like, I know.
Okay, so listen, if you put fragile on anything, that is just it's just a horror story. If they see fragile, they're like, I wonder how fragile this really is.
You really think people are that twisted? Every single parcel that comes through there every day. Does this one say fragile? Does this one say fragile? This one says fragile. Sweet.
Listen.
Woo-hoo!
Listen. When I was working, I had an allergic reaction and they gave me a shot of Benadryl. I had to take my dad with me because I was so out of it. And Dad's like, I'll drive. You just got to load the van. I was like, okay. And I was like loopy because I have a drug tolerance of like, I don't know, like you give me 2 aspirin and I'm right loopy. Anyway, and the guy said, Dad's looking around and I said, whatever happens
Aspirin?
in here. Oh, it could be like.
Sorry, that took me a second. Aspirin?
Yeah, whatever. Tylenol, aspirin, whatever. Anyway, I told him, I said, listen, Dad, like whatever you see in here, you just put it in the vault. And Dad's like, what do you mean? I was like, you'll understand. Some guy had a parcel and it actually said fragile. And he yelled from the other side of this like 5-bay loading dock, hey, you forgot a parcel. And he whipped it across the whole length of it.
Oh,
and when it hit the ground, I heard the shatter. And Dad looked at me and I was like, it had fragile on it, didn't? Dad walks over, looks at it. The guy picks it up. He goes, oh, wow, that's not good. Fragile written all over it. And the guy punted it across just punted it. Like,
so you're saying
not like
every mailman's is their dad that's doing this?
Not everyone. I'm just saying that it's, it's not good. Don't put fragile in anything you don't absolutely want not have the theory tested upon it.
Man.
It's a right. So if I don't write fragile on it, they can be rough as can be. But if I do write fragile on it, they view it like a dare. So what you're saying is don't ship anything with Canada Post.
Well, that's one way to look at it.
It's a rite of passage.
Yeah,
because when the day comes along, you bring your father with you on the ride, and he gets to break all your parcels.
You get hyped up on aspirin. You just get right out of it with aspirin. You're firing the aspirin.
All hyped up on aspirin. What's with you today? I had 3 aspirin, okay?
Anyway, I'm just saying, I swear, if they put fragile on it, it almost was like a challenge, which, yeah, it wasn't good.
But you just get yourself a sheet of metal, go down to your mailbox, weld it on the front, cut out some holes just big enough to stick an envelope in, standard sized envelope.
Standard size.
Put your own lock on it so only you can open the little metal thing you put in there. Problem solved.
Yep. And then leave a nasty message for his dad.
I got to tell you too, because yeah. Because would you tell your dad to stop bending my mail? That should be my letter. But jokes aside, okay, we could, and I could get on a guest.
Yeah, we
could have Taylor on, and we could bring on. I would love to hear Cameron take on like Dr. Jeffrey Muldrum from Idaho University.
Now that's not fair.
Why isn't it fair? If there's no proof of them and they don't exist, why isn't that fair?
The honey badger fears nothing, Cameron.
You're right. Let's bring it up. Bring it on. It's go time.
Just starts
I would love
frothing
to
and
hear
chewing
him
on
take
things.
on this professor with evidence like, well, where's the body? Because I know that there's bears in New Brunswick, but I can't remember the last time I came across a bear carcass in the woods. I got to tell
Have you not had one run out in front of you?
Yes.
Have you had a Sasquatch run out in front of you?
About 10,000 people say they have.
Okay. And how many pictures do we have of said creature?
Hundreds.
Okay. Are they grainy like all the rest? Are they all washed out? Like,
Well, I know the last time I had a bear run out in front of me in the car, I got an HD perfect high resolution picture off my phone when I was going 80 kilometers an hour. It's unreal. National Geographic wanted to hire me. Couldn't believe that was off an iPhone.
Why couldn't Trump and Biden debate this? That's the election I paid to see.
wow.
I would have paid money to see that.
Yep.
Actually, that'd be
Yeah.
Touche.
But then the question is, who would have been on what side? Would Trump have been for the Sasquatch?
Yes, he would have.
Trump would be like, I was watching a great documentary last night. His name was Harry.
It was
And
huge.
the
With his family.
I feel like it depends on your angle. I feel like Biden's pro Sasquatch if you're talking about conservancy because he's got to appear green.
There you go. That's why you should be in politics, man.
Depends on the angle that you're spinning. Yeah.
Well, we know the Sasquatch is real because if you Google it, there's all kinds of pictures that come up online. I've seen them myself.
They're fantastic. They're great.
He looks huge. It's fantastic. It's going to be the biggest one. We have America is the biggest Sasquatches in the world. They're the biggest. They're the strongest. They're the fastest. They're the best.
Takes
Cameron.
a picture of just Forrest at a press conference, draws a Sasquatch with a Sharpie.
You can see by this picture, we have now confirmed the Sasquatch.
Cameron wants us to capture one. There's only one way. We build the wall.
That the Sasquatch pays for.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh, boys. Well, what topic were we on? Somehow in my suggested videos was like, I was getting this one video. It was this vocal coach reacting to a song. And I was like,
yeah, I've seen those ones. They're not bad sometimes.
You've seen that? You've watched that? Like vocal coach reactions?
Yep.
Wow. Okay. Not the guy I thought was going to pipe up and say that. That's great, Cam.
Just randomly, I'm going through and they're like, reaction to heavy metal. I'm like, okay, I watch it. And you see this guy going, real proper British guy going, well, they don't understand what all the big fuss is. And then all of a sudden the guy starts playing guitar. He's just like, that's amazing.
Whoa. I feel like we've been over this once before. But the guy who seems like he's the busiest of us, all of us, every time a YouTube video is brought up, he's like, oh, yeah, no, I saw that.
I sit in front of a computer all day long.
Oh, but you're working, though, buddy.
That's
you're
some
working.
job, man. YouTube all day. Love it. Is your boss listening?
He probably does. What's going on, Chris?
That's so
I was
funny.
slammed today, sir. Just slammed. Vocal coach reactions.
I just love that. Like, oh no, boys, you don't get it. I sit at a computer all day at work. So I've
keep
seen
yourself
all of
somehow.
YouTube.
Oh, my.
That's great. Wow. Not the tangent I thought that was going to go on, but
No.
yeah. So, I get the same ones. So anyways.
This guy, and it was a male, is 8 to 9 feet. That's above 8. That's a massive individual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
nothing
yeah.
you've ever seen.
No.
No.
Wow. But, you know, that's like you said.
That actually has nothing to do with Sasquatch. I just thought that was pretty cool. They announced that. I really
I was
didn't
going to say,
support anything
are
at
you
all, but
switching over from the Sasquatch to the Nephilim here?
All it supports is that a creature could be that big, right? But yeah, it's anyway.
Right.
But you see,
That's what it is.
you see, Jeremy, this is him doing his little breadcrumbs again. He's trying to lead us to that eventual big debate.
You have nothing. Your whole defense on there's no Sasquatch is because.
Where's the body? Show me a body. Show it to me.
Oh my gosh, I
Show me
hate
a
that.
skull. Show me a
Cameron,
skeleton. Show me a body.
Are bears real?
Yes, and I have
think
seen bears.
You've seen a bear.
Yes.
How many dead bears in the woods have you come across?
None, because they're scavengers. Oh, I see what
Thank you.
now
I'll be
Cameron
here again
believes.
tomorrow.
I'm out.
Oh man.
I'm leaving. See you later.
Round 1.
Wow, fatality.
Well, we got 5 rounds, boys. First one goes to Tyson. Sorry, buddy.
I can take on Floyd Mayweather right now.
No one saw the head fake too. We saw the head stuck out. We were like, "Oh yeah!"
When you edit that, if you could make that pause more dramatic, that'd be great.
I'll put. Oh man, I'm gonna put an echo so it like echoes into a giant cavern, and then
He realized what he had just said. Of course not. They're scavengers.
Pew, 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 pew. Gary, how come you don't do?
I will also say that my lack of decisiveness usually leads to exploring, walking up and down streets and looking at 20 different restaurants before I pick which one I want to go into.
2 hours into
Heather
wanting.
loves traveling with me.
Heather's like,
Remember, we
Gary,
went to Quebec City once and we were probably on the verge of passing out. We had walked by about 20 different restaurants and talked to the people on the side of the road and went over the menus. And
oh my gosh.
Gary's like our own personal Yelp.
Heather's learned to not go, Gary, where do you want to eat? Because he smiles and puts his safari hat on and his binoculars, and he gets out pamphlets and Google Maps.
Gary's new nickname in the group chat's going to be Yelp.
You should be a local guide. You need to Google local guide and get points there.
Local restaurant guide. This is this guy in his national habitat.
Wow.
we've learned now when she asks me something like that, I say, what are my options?
That's
Oh, man.
classic, though. I wish, like, oh, Amanda might hate me,
here
but
we
this is
go.
the thing. You pick. No, I want you to pick. You pick what we're eating. Okay. I'm picking. Yes, you pick tonight. All right. Burger King. No, I don't want Burger King. How about Pizza Delight? I could say, no, I don't feel like pizza. Okay.
you can choose
so the
anything you want.
concept of you pick. If you could give me an acceptable list that I could pick from. Yeah.
If we could
I'll
even
be more like, how about I narrow it down to about 15?
15.
I
Like,
joke,
it's
but I'm
like-
probably worse than her.
Heather's like, we need to feed our children here. They're starving. One more street. One more street.
There might be a gold mine around the corner.
In Fredericton, where you've lived for like 20 years.
Oh, look, it's McDonald's.
We shall leave no stone unturned.
I swear, Heather, if we eat here and then we get out and drive around the corner and there's a chorus, I'm going to be upset.
Okay. I've got one that no one knows about but me. So there was one summer,
Oh,
and
goody.
I'll keep it short. There was one summer I was working for Much's Trucking with my good buddy Trent Much, and it was in between my first and second year at college. So I was hauling wood with them. And anyway, so we had one day we had to go to the mill in St. Quentin. So it's on the other side of New Brunswick. It's a long ways through the woods. So anyways, we get the loads on there, and you head up towards Bathurst, and then you turn into this highway that's like basically nothing for. It's like a plaster rock.
Yeah,
somewhere.
yeah.
It's like nothing for like 2 hours. Well, right before you go in, there's a Tim Hortons there. So it's like perfect, you're going in for a long drive, get a coffee. So I go in there, and they're gonna get a coffee, and like they have the donuts in the middle there, and they had it was when they had like the Oreo donut, And it was like, ooh, you know what? I'm going to get one of the fancy donuts for once. I'm going to get it.
Splurge.
Yeah. So I get a coffee and get the donut, and I'm like, this is great. So I'm going through it, get something playing there, whatever. Just listen to the music, drive along.
Probably a little dream theater.
Yep, right. Probably not a lot of traffic. Having a coffee, donut. I get to the mill in St. Quentin. So I pull in, and like it's logs. So you pull onto a scale to get the weight of what? That's how you get paid. So I get so I pull on the scale. I go in the little scale house where the person's working, and you kind of they give you your slip, and then you got to give them your slip for the paperwork stuff. And anyway, so she's just kind of writing down. There's a woman working there. She's writing down like the information and stuff, and she's like, I can't do this on a podcast, but as she's writing, she keeps looking at the paper, and like out of the corner of her eye, she keeps like looking up at me. And she's like, kind of like this. And I'm like, oh. And so this is
lady's eyeballing
this
me.
is St. Quentin, right? It's very, very French. So she's like, the bathroom is there. And I was like, oh, thanks. Thanks for telling me. Great, good to know. She's like, no, you have on your face. It's on your face. So I was like, what do you mean? So I go like this, and like this stuff falls on my shirt, and I look down, and I'm like, oh. So I go in the bathroom. All around my mouth is the entire contents of the powder that was on this Oreo donut. It literally looked like I had done all of the cocaine in New Brunswick. And it was all, and I had like a beard, and so it's all in the beard. And I had no mirror, right? I should have took a picture, but it was just like a giant donut circle around my nose. It looked like I had done all these drugs. And so I wipe it all off, and I come out, and I take my slip, and I'm like, thanks. Anyway, that was pretty embarrassing. Yeah. She could barely write the words. It was all she could do to not find the nearest cloth and like punch me in the face with it to get that off there. She's like, I can't even talk to you until you get that off of your face.
Look at this crackhead.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It just literally looked like anyway.
Oh man.
So that was pretty embarrassing. No one knew about that until this moment.
There you go, Amanda. One right upstairs from the vault.
There we go.
Yeah.
Oh, boys.
What?
My postman struck again. I don't know why I didn't tell you. So listen. What? So just so people know, you'd have to backtrack, whatever. Trish Stratus sent me a personalized autograph. Tyson, Hart, Trish Stratus. I open the mailbox. Mikhail has to pry it out with the jaws of life. It's bent. I take it home. I open it. It is bent. Big crease down through the middle of it. Ooh. I email Trish Stratus's website or whatever. Tell her what happened. No one ever gets back to me. A month later, in the mailbox, guess what? Envelope, 8x10 size, bent. Mikhail again, jaws of life, 2 feet planted on the mailbox, pulling this thing out of the community mailbox. Take it home, open it. It's another Trish Stratus autograph. Same picture. Tyson, Hart, Trish Stratus. Okay? Fold it again, but at least this one's creased a little less.
Okay.
We've been over this, right?
Yep.
So after that one, I told you guys, I can't believe you did it again. Cameron had a theory. He's out for me, whatever. I emailed them again. That was 3 months ago. I've heard nothing. The other day, Amanda walks outside because we were expecting an Amazon parcel, and sometimes we miss them. But she's scared of the rain. Like, they'll leave it outside the door for us, but if it rains, we don't want, right?
I saw that.
Okay. She sees this thing out of the corner of her eye blowing around the driveway. She runs over and gets it in the driveway. It's a vanilla size, like 8x10 envelope. It says, do not bend. Tyson Theriault, my address, the whole bit. She takes it inside and she says, I just found this blowing around the driveway. Were you expecting something? And I said, no, I'm not expecting anything. Go ahead and open it because I'm not expecting, I have nothing else coming, right? Because for a while I had a lot of stuff. I have nothing else coming, nothing.
At this point, he's trying to tell
I didn't
Amanda.
buy anything.
Yes,
I didn't buy it, and I really didn't. She opens it. It's a third Trish Stratus. They sent it again. And this time, the mailman didn't cram it in the mailbox, left it outside, and my wife catches it blowing away. Anyway, I finally have one intact, no bends, no nothing.
So to add a little bit to that story for Tyson, I was dropping off the Zoom that we used to record the podcast when we weren't all together. So I drove there in the morning to drop it off. Well, I'm just driving the yard and I kind of look, I'm like, why is there this envelope sitting on the ground? And I'm looking at it and the clouds are starting to get really rainy. I'm kind of looking up. I'm like, but it wasn't under the eave. It was actually out on your driveway. So I picked it up. It was like, I'm going to have to set this against the house. So I set it against the side of the house because if it had rained, it would have destroyed it. But it was laying on the ground, flat down. So I took the Zoom that he had. I put it, there was a plastic bucket or something there. I put that under there in case it got wet. But I was like, what do I do with this envelope? I'm like, I'll just push it here. So I sent Tyson a message. I'm like, yeah, I set that up. As I'm leaving, I'm thinking, mailman, Newman.
We can get into the nitty-gritty details of fast food ordering because that's such a big part of my life. You know, that's a privilege.
And another thing.
I hate fast food ordering. Number one, I tend to haul up, roll down the window, put my elbow on the window, my hand over my mouth, and start trying to order like this. And Heather has to like point out to me that I'm covering my mouth when I'm trying to order.
Oh, Gary, I feel
I
that
never
to my
remember
core.
what anybody wants. So I'm always like talking to the person taking the order and talking to the people in the car at the same time.
Oh,
what was it you
Gary.
wanted?
I know.
No, scratch that. They didn't know. It was
Trisha has to text me. She sits right next to me and has to text me. I have to read it from my phone or I will get it wrong.
Then I'll get through everything and I'll be like, did I do it right? Did I miss anything? Was that good? How was my performance?
I am oddly relieved at this moment because it's like there's 4 people in the car and I'm ordering for everybody.
Oh, it's horrible.
Right, and the kids get the same thing every time. But I'm doing this whole like did I forget anything, Amanda? Like, Amanda, what did you want? She gets the same thing every time. Like, what did you want? Like you want number 2. Okay, all right.
What did you want to drink? Is it this Diet Coke the same as the last 100 times, or did you change your mind this time?
Then you get someone who's new, and they ask you a question that's not normally asked, and you're like,
do you want to big size that? I didn't think of this.
Oh man, I felt like I had Mitch Hedberg flashbacks this week, boys. And I'm in the drive-through line at Subway.
Again,
in Miramichi,
I would
right?
never go to a drive-through for a sub. That is too much.
Well, yeah, sometimes like on my lunch hour, it's my quickest route, right? So like, I've been back to work for 3 weeks, and this is just my second time. This isn't like the police fiasco, but like the lady in front of me, like, let's be real. It takes a little more time to put your sandwich together at Subway than it does to grab a burger from McDonald's, right? So like already be aware of that. But like they're going through the typical questions like, okay, so do you want that toasted? Okay, well, what kind of cheese? All right, well, what would you like for veggies? You know, okay, what kind of sauce?
The green one?
Would you like salt and pepper?
The one in the picture?
But I'm listening to this lady in front of me, and I'm having this whole Mitch Hedberg moment of, actually, no, I'm thinking of John Panette is who I'm thinking of. John Panette. And I'm ready, I almost wanted to blare his vocals out of my car. Like, how do you not know what you want on your sandwich? Like, what do you mean? Like, she's humming and hawing over, like, oh, well, I guess not, don't put too many tomatoes. Like, lady, like, I'm like, I get up to that window, I am ready to rock. I came here this week, sausage and egg on a wrap, white cheese, salt and pepper, light mayo. Heck yes, put that on the grill. I gotta go. I got 20 minutes. Done. It's over. Would you like any? No. Nope. I got water in the car. Give me my wrap. Right? But it's like, like every single question, like, you know, what would you like for sauce on that? Do you still have the mid-southwestern, what was it there? What? Just put mayo on your sandwich and let's move along. Let's go. I couldn't believe what I was overhearing. Oh my gosh.
I guess that's why I've always avoided the Subway drive-through.
But like usually that doesn't. They're pretty quick up home. Like it's not. along. There could be 3 cars in front of you. You're out
When I
5
order
minutes.
at Subway, it's usually a lot of pointing. I'll like this, and this.
And to be fair to that, yeah, but you can't do that. You can't do that in the drive-thru.
Exactly.
Right?
I go to the drive-thru. I'd be like, the green one, the purple one, and the darker green one, please.
And you know what? You know what's like that now, though? McDonald's is like that now. Because you go in, you can place your order at the screen, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, all of a sudden I can ask for more seasoning. I can add a patty. Like, what is this? I can get a sausage and egg McMuffin
It's like
and
a
double
build
the
your own
sausage.
adventure book.
Yeah. You can do all this stuff, right? And then you go to the drive-thru and it's like, can I take your order? What would you like today? And then you almost get snooty, like, well, I guess my options are limited out here. I'll get a number 2, I guess.
It's white.
It's a white van.
It's a white van.
What color is the interior?
The interior's gray, not red.
Yeah.
I know, disappointment. I know. So anyway,
Wow.
we get this new vehicle and we start looking for a trailer. So Katie starts going online, my wife. Everybody knows, but in case they don't. So anyway.
Taken, ladies.
She put a ring on it.
After she shaved the finger.
So we look around for a trailer, and we were looking for a trailer by weight. Now, in your head, you think, all right, you see those little pop-up tents? They're not very big. And you're thinking, you know, they have 2 bunks on each side. They're pretty small. They're like 12, well, they might be like 10 feet long when they're all in the box, like all down. So we're like, okay. So we look around. Well, a really good deal came up with one. I'm like, how much does it weigh? She said, well, it's well below the weight. It's something like 16 or 1,700 pounds. I was like, well, that's well within our range. I'm okay with that. She goes, okay, cool. And the price was really good. So we're like, okay. And she kind of looked at me kind of funny. I was like, what? She goes, yeah, it's in PEI. I'm like, what? She goes, yeah, it's in PEI. He's like, okay, we'll see if he'll take whatever for the price. I don't even remember the price. Anyway, she went back to him. He goes, yes, I want it gone. And yes, you can come. So we decide after work at 4:30, we're going to drive to PEI in a brand new vehicle.
Where in PEI?
Cavendish?
Oh, okay. Well, that's
Not too bad.
That's not unreasonable.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're driving down. We only had the CRV or the Pilot for a couple weeks. So as we're driving down, in the back of my head, I'm realizing A, this is a brand new vehicle. B, I've never towed anything in my life. Not once in my life have I ever towed anything. So I was like, well, it's a small trailer. We'll be fine. No big deal. Drive to PEI. We pull into this guy's yard, and here it is set up in his father-in-law's garage. It takes the whole garage up when it's out. I'm like, what is going on here?
You asked how much it weighed, right?
We did. We didn't ask how long it was. So I get there and I look at the guy and I'm looking at Katie and I'm like, that is crazy. That's massive. I said, okay, can I ask a question? The guy goes, sure. I said, how long is it right now? He goes, well, right now with it out, yeah, 28 feet.
Wow.
I'm like,
Holy
did you?
cow.
I said, okay, how long is it when everything is packed away? He goes, 14, 15 feet. I'm like, okay. I've never towed anything ever in any vehicle. And now I have a brand new vehicle. So then we go to hook it up. And we had gone to Honda and gotten a towing package. So they had like the ball joint and everything like that. But they also had the electrics. When I went to pull the pin out, it was a 4-pin.
I was going to say, your pins, they didn't match up.
And the guy had a 10 or 15 pin or a 7.
Did he have an adapter, though? 'Cause
No.
No.
No. So I kind of looked, and Katie goes, how does it look? I said, oh, good. I looked all around. I said, great. And then I got to the plug, and I picked up the plug, and I looked at it. I was like, oh, no. And she goes, what? I was like, this is like a 10-pin. Ours is like a 4-pin. Oh, we's in trouble. She goes, what do you mean? I said, well, it won't have any brake lights. It'll have nothing. She went, oh. Well, the guy goes, well, that's all right. He said, Canadian Tire is like a quarter mile down the road.
They'll have an adapter.
They'll have one. So anyway, he says, go down and I'm going to show your husband how to take this thing down. So she's like, okay. So she took off. So the guy's teaching me how to take this thing down. So then I started asking him questions. I was like, it's in really good shape.
Doesn't look like it was hardly used. I was like, okay, there's something weird. First thing I stepped in,
Somebody died in there.
well, I was like, this doesn't make any sense. And the guy goes, oh, where are you guys from? We told him we're from Miramichi. And he said, I went to school in Fredericton. I was like, well, I lived in Fredericton too. He said, oh, cool. He said, well, I said, why are you selling this if you don't mind me asking? He goes, well, my friends decided they all wanted to go camping. He said, so I got this on the other side of PEI. My friends convinced me to buy it. Oh, it's going to be fun. It's going to be great. He said, I drove it to Fredericton. He said, and it was just for the weekend. He said, and I am never, ever going to camp again. He said, it was just not my thing. He said, and I'm thinking, okay, you bought this trailer and you used it once and you want rid of it. I was like, oh, so you really don't want it? No, he said, I want it gone now, like gone. He's like, it was not fun. So
this is like mint, really.
Well, it was really, really good shape.
Yeah.
And anyway, I'm putting it all apart, and he keeps looking at me going, okay, now the next step, I'm like, okay, I don't feel so bad. This guy doesn't have a clue hardly how to take it down, so I don't feel so stupid. So anyway, we got her all packed down. Katie shows up. We hook up the wiring. The brake lights are good. I was like, okay, cool. We get it on the ball, on the hitch. I was like, okay. I start driving and I'm like, I hit the road and I'm like, I see a car coming. I was like, oh, I'll just speed up. Like, you thinking you don't got anything behind you, right? Anyway, pull into the yard and Katie's like, have you ever pulled anything before? I'm like, no. She goes, okay. So then I was like, oh, okay, maybe I'm going a tad too fast. Okay, so we're slowing down. And this thing, I'm waiting to like I'm waiting. And you know, the roads in PEI are not exactly known.
I'm just picturing that video with the dinky cars on the treadmill that went viral where the guy pokes it and all over the place.
We started to drive and I'm like, just before we leave, before I hooked it on, our buddy Dougie calls us. Hey, where are you guys? He goes, well, we're in PEI. Why? Well, there's a hurricane warning here. In Miramichi. And we go, what? We're like, what?
Did you check the weather ahead of time?
No, I did not.
You're like, oh, great. All I have to do is cross the longest bridge in the world.
So anyway, we were like, okay, so we pull out and we're driving toward the bridge. And there's still nothing going on here. There's no rain. There's no clouds. But as we hit the top of the bridge, it looked like something out of a World War II movie. In the back, like the distance flashes and like it was just light. The sky was lit up, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be interesting. So we drive and drive. We get just outside of Moncton, and then the thunder and the lightning starts, and then the rain starts. Oh, never pulled a thing in my life. Never used my car.
I know what night you're talking about because people went into work the next morning. They're like, it woke me up. The thunder was so loud.
Oh, I filmed some of it.
Windy.
I know exactly what night you're talking. We went out on the front porch, and it was just lighting the place up.
I didn't know you were out pulling.
So I'm pulling a trailer for the first time, driving into hurricane, force, rain, weather, lightning. It was quite the experience.
But you got your brake lights, so you got your adapter.
I did have my brake lights. I just kept driving, and it just at one point it was raining so hard I was like, I can't see the person behind me. I can't see anything in front of me. The only reason I could see is because the lightning would light the sky up. I could then see the road.
Now, how fast were you driving?
At this point, at some points, I had it up to 80, and I was pretty impressed with 80. So the lowest point, I was doing 25.
So you just got home last night, is what you're saying?
No, not just last night. But trust me, I white knuckled the whole way home. I was never so glad to see that driveway when I pulled in. I was like, we're just leaving it. What? We're not even unhooking it. We're just leaving it. And I'm going in the house. Like, I'm just done. Like, now you got to think, I left at 4:30 to drive over there. And then it took us a couple hours. I don't think we left the island till like 9 o'clock.
Oh my word! So you got home at like midnight.
Oh, and it was black. It was night too when I was driving home in the rain with a trailer. I had never driven before.
Midnight would be if he was driving like normal speed.
It wasn't about midnight. I think I got home a little after midnight, but that was like one of the worst drives. It's like, and the trailer, I thought, okay. I kept looking back at the trailer thinking, okay, it's not moving. I don't feel it swaying because Dad, for some reason, instilled in my brain that when you're driving, he said you should be able to feel it sway a little bit. But it never swayed. It never moved. It stayed where it should. which was great because I said if it was swaying everywhere.
Well, I was going to say, if you're going to tow something for the first time, that's the perfect thing to tow because it's very low center of gravity.
Yes.
Like, what is it, 4 feet high when it's all?
Yeah, it's
around like
not
that?
even that, but yeah.
So you're not getting any wind loading or
No.
anything. So it should just kind of follow along.
It did. It followed right
Yeah.
along. But having never pulled anything like that on the road before, I was just
Yeah.
like, wow. That was a long drive home. And then I said after that, I said to Katie, I said, you know what? She goes, what? Shouldn't have any problems pulling this thing anywhere. She goes, what do you mean? I said, well, we did it in the worst conditions possible. At night, in the middle of a hurricane.
You know what? In all seriousness, like that's true. People used to say like when I was on the road all the time, it's like, oh, snowstorm, that must be the worst. And I'd be like, I would take a blinding blizzard over heavy rainfall every day.
Yep.
It's so much harder on the eyes. You can't see the lines on the road. You can't see signs. Your wipers can't keep up. Like,
people coming towards you will blind you because the lights fractionating off and all the rain. Yeah.
Because with snow, it doesn't reflect as much as like what rain does.
Nope.
And I find rain, like heavy rain, is the worst thing.
And the worst part is in the rain like that, you have the standing water and you're looking at the road and you're like, all right. Then, of course, with the trailer, you're just slightly over and you can feel that trailer starting because it's got super small tires.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, I'm not going to go that way. I'm going to go back the other way. Like,
yeah,
it was, So that was just getting it home.
You haven't even gone camping yet.
You are correct.
After that, you were in need of a vacation.
Yeah. You said, like, you know what? That was tough. Let's go camping to relax.
This episode is brought to you by Coleman Canoes, the world's tippiest canoe.
I think that should be their slogan because it's 100% true.
My thought on it originally was Santa and Mrs. Claus are having marital issues.
Wow.
And all the elves start picking sides. So the whole thing takes place in the North Pole.
Holy cow.
So this is more of a family.
The reindeer, the camps are the reindeer pick sides.
It's a drama.
Drama, comedy, yep.
Drama. Rom-com.
A rom.
And you know, it's coming to the climax where Christmas is coming and nobody's really been getting anything done.
Then you know what they do? Because it comes to the last minute, they realize the errors of their ways. They unite together and
To get
it done.
And Santa and Mrs. Claus work together.
Yeah, of course.
And then they remember the good times and how good it used to be, and everyone's happy ever after.
Yeah,
Christmas goes off without a hitch.
They
Yeah.
patch it up. Yeah.
She
patch it all up.
She goes with him on the sleigh. They do it together. Oh, it's just lovely.
They do it together. What are you talking
Deliver the presents, Jeremy.
They get in the sleigh. They go together. The credits roll.
She winks at him and the screen fades to black.
Screen fades to black, you hear, ho, ho, ho.
The bells get louder.
Oh, man.
Bells get louder. Faster. Right, on that note.
Merry Christmas.
I just what?
You just wasted some of your life listening to the Bush League podcast. You must stop what you're doing right now. Like and subscribe and leave a 5-star rating. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and like us on Facebook.